my name is Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. So, for today's movie, I will be reviewing The Whale, directed by Darren Aronofsky and starring Brendan Fraser, Sadie Sink, and Hong Chow. Anyway, The Whale tells the story of Charlie, a morbidly obese English teacher who teaches online night courses. Anyway, he is assisted by his by a nurse by the name of Liz, played by Sadie Sink. Also, Charlie, he's played by Brendan Fraser. Anyway, when Charlie isn't teaching online night courses, he is engaging in not so healthy habits, namely overeating, mainly overeating to clearly hide his feelings of self-loathing and crippling depression. Anyway, these bad habits unfortunately catch up to him one week when Nurse Liz gives him a terrible prognosis. Either he needs to call 911 and go to the hospital, or he will die by the time the week is out. What follows afterwards is Charlie's attempts to sort of redeem himself in some ways, to improve his relations with and do good by his estranged daughter, and come to terms with who he is as a person in some ways. So, first of all, let me just say the acting is really good in this movie, especially Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser does a good job of showing how Charlie, while he clearly has a lot of self-loathing and depression and has a rather morbid look on life such that he doesn't want to call an ambulance to save his own life, he still clearly is goal oriented, whether it's telling his students that their essays matter or trying to help his daughter out with her education. So yeah, he also kind of has a bit of a sense of humor, both dark and self-deprecating, so it kind of helps keep the movie from selling into a completely oppressive, depressing mood. Plus, also he does a really good job of showing how, just the overall compulsive nature of the eating disorder he has, because the man, like, there are several sequences throughout the film where he is shown just eating a copious amount of unhealthy food, and it's hard to sit through, not necessarily because of the sheer quantity of food, because it's clear that this guy is trying to kill himself just via overeating. It's a really hard watch. And what makes Fraser's performance all the more impressive is the sheer amount of prosthetics he's giving the performance under. Like, that right there kind of made the performance easy. And also on that note, the prosthetics itself, I mean, it again, I know has been a lot of debate over the ethics of wearing prosthetics to play oh, pe- heavier people than the actor actually is. That being said, on a purely technical level, the prosthetics Brendan Fraser wears are amazing. There are scenes where they put the effects on full display, and I never got a sense of, okay, I can see where Brendan Fraser the man begins and where the prosthetics begins. It's all blended very well together. I wouldn't be surprised if this film gets nominated for best makeup and special for makeup effects. That right there. Also, the supporting cast, it does a great job as well. Hong Chow does a great job as the nurse Liz. Like, she does a great job of playing a woman who clearly understands that her efforts to save Fraser are going unheeded, yet is still wants to be there to support him, whether it's bringing him food or trying to help get him equipment that can make his life a bit easier to handle. So really good there. Plus, Sadie Sink does a great job as Ellie, Charlie's estranged daughter. She does a good job of just showing how underneath that, the amount of anger and hatred she feels towards her father for abandoning her, she still feels at least somewhat interested in being with him, and has hurtful yet insightful comments just about life and her father in general. And finally is Thomas, who is played by Ty Simpkins. So Thomas is a missionary who, despite clearly feeling at odds with some of his church's beliefs, it's never explained what type of church. It's just called New Life, and their policies are a bit vague as to what they believe. The most concrete is that they believe the end of the world is coming soon and that homosexuality is a sin. That being said, in spite of believing in this, the Thomas character still clearly wants to help uh, Charlie's character get through what his demons. So it's really interesting stuff there. The writing is solid and does a great job of doling out backstory in a compelling manner and organic manner. It feels really well character driven, so I really enjoyed that. And however, the film kind of falls prey to a similar issue that befell the Banshees of Inisherin, which I reviewed a while back. Both films do a really great job with their first and second acts, yet it feels like by the time they get to the third act, the pacing starts to drag, and as a result, it starts to feel like the film just wants to depress you just for the sake of depressing you, all the while it tries to figure out how to end the film in a compelling manner. And as for the ending itself, it makes a interesting creative choice that doesn't quite gel with the tone of the rest of the film that preceded it up to that point. But it still works thanks to the performers giving it their all, so it's not a huge problem. Also, the cinematography. The cinematography is really good. The film employs 4:3 aspect ratio, which makes for really good close-ups of the characters and the single shots. With each character occupying the camera themselves, it really helps drive home the isolation and loneliness each character feels. However, the cinematography can get a bit repetitious at time. The film repeats certain camera movements throughout the set, and that's kind of a result of the fact that the film takes place almost entirely in Charlie's dilapidated house, which in and of itself is a character unto itself. A great production design. You can tell that this house is clearly falling apart, much like Charlie is. So great production design there. So, yeah, to that end, if you are willing to tolerate the film's depressing tone, The Whale will reward you with great performances. So, with all that in mind, I will be giving The Whale 4 out of 5 stars. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. If you enjoyed this review and would like to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And for today's comment section prompt of the day, did you like The Whale? Why or why not?